Hello, fifth graders. This is Mrs. Salyer once again, and we're going to now participate in the discussion part of our task. We were doing task 4 in a series of tasks about decimals. The title of this one was Dancing Digits. And here was our situation. A local organization hosted a dance competition to raise money for its new building. The dance competition turned out to be very popular. The organization raised $374,318 for their new building. Your first task that you should have completed already and found a solution path for is A. You were asked to look at the digits in the hundreds place and the hundred thousands place. So let's go ahead and identify those digits. The digit in the hundredths place is the 3. And the digit in the hundred thousands place is also a 3. How many times greater is the 3 in the hundred thousands place than the 3 in the hundreds place? And explain how you know. I'm going to share one solution path with you right now. And in this solution path, we're using the strategy of a place value chart. So, what I would have done, or what other students may have done, is made your own place value chart. There's the hundred thousands place, 10,000, 1,000, and a comma, which goes after the thousands period to separate it from the ones period. Then I would have my 100s, my 10s, and my 1s. And because I'm just going to put an S after that so that we'll say it as 100,000s, 10,000s, 1,000s, 100s, 10s, and 1s. Okay. And then I'm going to come right down through here and think about my comma going in. Okay. So now I'm going to plug in the values that go in my place value chart. A 3, a 7, 4, a 3, a 1, and an 8. Now, I am thinking about the fact that I'm moving this 3 all the way over looking at the hundreds, thousands place, and I want to know how much greater the value of this 3 is than this one. Well, I know that every time I go over to the left, I'm getting bigger by 10. So this one, what I call jump from the hundreds to the thousands, would be times 10. When I jump again, that's 2 jumps. That would be 10 times 10, which means it would be 100 times bigger. When I go again, that would be 3 jumps, which would be 10 times 10, then 100 times 10, which would be times 1,000. Therefore, the 3 in the hundred thousands place is 1,000 times greater. So, in my explanation, I would put the 3 in the 100 thousands place is 1,000 times greater than the 3 in the hundreds place. And each jump to the left, you're getting bigger by 10. So this will be 10 times more. This will be 100 times more. This would be 1,000 times more. Now, let's look at our next task. Change the digit in the thousands place so that the value of the new digit represents 1/10 of the value of the digit in the 10,000s place. Explain how you know. Once again, I'm going to use my place value chart. I'm going to make my 100,000s. I'm going to make my 10,000s, my 1,000s, my comma, my 100s, my tens, and my ones. In my original number, I'm going to log in my digit values. But now my task is I want to change the digit in the thousands place, which is our 4, so that the value of the new digit represents 1/10 of the value of the digit in the 10,000s place, which is our 7. Okay? I know that each time I move one place value to the right, I'm getting smaller by 10. And we say that by saying that it is 1/10 as much. So, if I am going in this direction, I am getting smaller by 1/10. So if I'm moving this to be 1/10 smaller, I would put my 7 here, the 3, and this 7 stays the same, comma, and 318. And now I've changed this digit to be 1/10 the size of this digit because I moved over one space. If I had moved over 2 spaces, it would be 1/100th of the value of the digit. Likewise, if I moved over 3 spaces, it would be 1/1000th of the size of the digit. The reason that the place values are easy to think about, of course, is because they are dealing with multiples of tens, and we all know that tens are friendly numbers. Let's look at a couple of examples to get your brain thinking before we move on. Let's think about this number, 7,301. If I were to ask you what number is 1/10 of the value of the digit in the thousandths place, what would you tell me? I'm going to let you think about that for just a moment. Your brain needs to be thinking, okay, how many spaces and in what direction do I move to be 1/10, which means 10 times smaller? I know if I'm getting smaller, I'm going in this direction. And I know that if I'm just doing 1/10, that's going to be 1 hop. So the digit that's 1/10 of the value of the digit in the thousands place is going to be the 3 or the hundredths place. Let's look at another number and think a little bit more. Let's look at 96,084. If I were to ask you how many ones are represented by this 8, what would you say? Some of you might say 8. Well, that is an 8, but the value is 8 tens. How many ones would that be? 1 times what number would give you 80? It would be 80, and that would be 80 ones, 10 times more than the ones place. So if I were to ask you to look at this number right here, and I were to ask you what number is going to be 100 times more than the tens place, what would be your strategy for thinking about that? If we go back to our place value strategy, you would think about it like this, okay? I'm looking for the number that's 1,000 times more. Every move to the left is 10 times more, okay? So the 0 is 10 times more. The 6 would be 100 times more. The 9 then would be 1,000 times more. So the 9 would be the digit in this number that's 1,000 times greater than the tens place. So let's look at a decimal number. And I would read this as 12 and 52 hundredths. And I'm going to ask you, how many times greater is this 2 in the ones place than the 2 in the hundreds place? And how could we say we know that? I'm hoping that you're thinking about your hops and you're thinking as times 10 times 100. So we know that the 2 in the ones is 100 times more than the 2 in the hundredths place. How do we know? It is 1, 2, 2 moves left, and each move is times 10. So your learning target in this task was to be able to recognize that in a multi-digit number, a digit one place represents 10 times as much as it represents in the place to its right. So if you're going in this direction, it's getting bigger by 10. And if you go one place to the right, it represents 1/10 of the digit that you're moving from. So that concludes our task on dancing digits. I hope that you learned more about decimal place value by doing this task. Have a great day.